Welcome to the Grizzled Up Podcast. I'm currently stranded.
Yeah.
Sean and Caleb had to come save the day. We can add this to the blooper reels or whatever later on. But Sean, say hi to the camera.
Oh, I didn't know you were filming.
Yeah, I'm filming.
Say a little something into the camera. A little something into the camera.
All right, stay tuned. All right, we're at our local general store. Sean got his Reese and a snack. Caleb's gassed up, and I got my coolant. Let's see if I can get her home, fellers.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're towing it.
What I want to do if we don't see it.
We made her, fellers. Sean's about to fucking freeze to death. He got the heated heart. All right, let's get this episode rolling.
Let's make this a new intro, even.
All right, we are recording. Get this old man sack.
So
I'm trying to kiss you. I'm just trying to get these keys out of my asshole. Alright, I might kiss you. Come here.
come here, yeah. This chair is freezing.
Oh yeah. My hemorrhoid's gonna get fucking cold.
Well, by this point, you've seen what we've been doing for the last hour. Believe it or not, the one day Sean is here at 6:56.
I show up an hour late.
Yeah, Kody's stranded in the middle of nowhere, and we have to go pick his ass up.
Well, and the funny thing is I texted them and I said, hey, does he need coolant? Well, and I never got a text back, so.
He did, he just didn't check his phone.
Oh, well. Because I was like, shit, well, I'm not going to be late this time. So I drove all the way here, and it turns out he needed coolant.
Yeah.
I didn't have coolant.
But that kind of makes me think about the, I thought about this a long time ago, but I know a ton of people that like shit talk their cars and stuff, but they are horrible on them. And they don't take care of them. They just bag the fuck out of them.
You're the biggest piece of shit.
Breaks down on the side of the road, and it's like,
I ain't changed oil in 150,000. All right.
that's like
It comes
Not
out
bagging.
like a dog turd.
not bagging on you, but he's like, well, did it have any leaks or did it have coolant in it? I ain't checked it since I bought it.
Well, it's one of those things. Like I've had it for a year and a half now. It's never overheated.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
would
like-
think, especially you drive it in the summer and shit too, and now it's
Right.
it's 60 out right now.
So when I bought it, I knew it had an oil leak and a power steering leak. I fixed those, and I'm like, this thing is gonna last me for a little while. Because I drive it ever so often during the summer, but I drive it the most during fall and winter for deer season and stuff like that. Boy, was I fucking wrong. About the time you trust it, that son of a bitch starts...
Brakes are off right in your butt.
Yeah.
Not to be anal, I change mine every year.
You change what, your antifreeze?
Yeah, and everything I own. Dirt bikes,
Really?
Harley, yeah, car.
It's really not a...
I just
Yeah,
do it
terrible
just because I check it, and then I have one of those little tools that can tell you if it's good or not, but I just go ahead and do it. Fuck it.
Not a bad idea.
I'm already out there, and it's like, maybe if I do it, I'll catch something.
I'd like to say that I'm going to start doing that, but...
Nah, just check it. Honestly, I'm the idiot for doing it.
You got coolant now, so what's the point, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, it's to flush it out, or drain it, flush it, and fill it back up. You're only looking at like $20. So
Yeah,
it's really
I
not
just-
breaking the bank to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you're spending $60 to change oil in it nowadays.
Yeah.
Which I do all that myself. I know it's almost cheaper to just do it yourself, or do it, like have somebody else do it, but
Sometimes.
normally I just like having a reason to go outside and listen to music and just
Yeah.
have it.
Not only that, but you're also risking, trusting whoever you have do it. Which say if I had you do it like you do it on the side. I trust you enough.
Right.
But you know, there's some Joe Blow down the street.
I'm ready
He
to
does
get
it
out of
$10
here.
cheaper,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, he gets off in 10 minutes, and it takes 15 to do your car. Like,
Well,
Oh, the wife's got hamburger helper tonight.
actually, going off of that, there was a guy at work that I was talking to. Would have been yesterday, actually. As we're walking out to our vehicles after our shift, he made a comment. He's like, "You see my new wheels?" And it was this brand new 2500 Ram. I'm like, "Golly!" I'm like, "Well, when did you buy that?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't buy it. It's a loaner." He said he had a dealership, or it wasn't a dealership. It was actually a local business. Change his oil. Right at the end of the day, they didn't get the oil plug in. Left him stranded in Charleston. Blew the plug out. Blew up his fucking engine.
Yeah, Kyler
Just-
had,
He's
my
like,
brother Kyler, he had on his Jimmy, you know, the one that had a dirty diaper, it looked like. It just it drove like this all the time.
like a bulldog fucking walking around, dragging its ass, nuts
But-
between its legs.
Yeah, he took it to a place here in town, and he got home, which luckily it's right next to where my parents are.
Mhm.
And it drained all the oil out. The dude, I can't remember if he forgot to put the bolt back in or if it came loose and come out. Which
Oh, man.
I always put red Loctite on it before I put it back in.
I
You're down there with a hammer and a breaker bar.
And a torch, acetylene.
I worked at a place changing oil. I won't name names. A great place to work for, but there are some shady guys you work with. If you know,
I've heard some stories.
well, the owner is great to work
Sure,
for.
sure.
Yeah, there's some shady folk you work with occasionally, and they'll be training you. And they're like, "Yeah, well, these oil filters are kind of a pain in the dick to get to, so I normally just change them like once every 3 or 4 times they come in." It's like,
That would piss me off.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Yeah.
You're paying
if
for
I
the full
found out.
service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
See, and that's why I like doing it every now and then, because I've seen too many videos where I seen where this guy had a Harley being worked on, and he kept having these belts blow apart, and he's like, they're from, you know, the dealership. The dealership's the one putting them on. Well, they were trying to cheap out by using off-brand belts and not using the Harley brand. And
I'm still charging you for the Harley.
yeah,
brand.
exactly.
Yep.
And it's like you can catch a lot of that stuff.
make sure I ain't got a moose knuckle over here. I waited a little too long for that.
I don't know. My bag's... I'm showing my age. My bag's a little droopy.
I thought about hanging it on the tree, but I'm like, you know what?
It'd
Best
probably
we put it
blend
under Cody.
Oh, when you said bag, I didn't know what you were meaning.
Yeah, I take the old sack under his chair
Yeah.
there.
So if you see me over here, just... mind your
Ring that
business.
bell.
The noise it made.
Well, so going back to that company you worked for, I remember I was sitting up in the break room at work, and we watched if I remember correctly, it was a white, smaller car, just had new tires put on. I'm assuming it was the guy that did the job. He pulls out and he's going down the main drag there, and about the time he gets in front of our plant, front driver's side tire blows off, goes just beelining through the front lawn, and smokes the parked vehicle. He just...
Was this when Caleb was working
No,
there?
it wasn't. But
I was
I've
gonna say, I think you were working at the plant, weren't you?
yeah.
You weren't still at that place?
It's funny because almost every time I go back, I don't go there a whole lot, but every time I go back, it seems like they always fill me in on, well, so-and-so fucking had a tire shuck off and there's getting a bed side
He
replaced.
dropped his corn dog in the fucking coolant reservoir.
That's why mine was fucked up.
There's a corn dog, and it one of the mini corn dogs, so they're hard to see.
It's stuck in the hose. You can narrow it down. It's getting right.
You just gotta keep squishing
See?
it.
Yeah.
It's like in Joe Dirt. That's the stick. That's the peanut.
That's a space peanut.
See the peanut?
Yeah, I don't know how many times. And dude, I did oil changes and I did tires. And always, the biggest thing that made me nervous was, I mean, obviously, if you don't double check the filter, make sure the gasket comes off with it, or say the drain plug was kind of stripped or something and you didn't realize it.
You just hit her with a couple more Ugga Nuggets.
Yeah, either that or fucking tires shooting off. That scared the hell out of me. And whenever I first started, I don't know how many stories I heard. It's like, yeah, he's had 5 or 6 tires shuck off on him. It's like,
It makes me nervous because
it makes me nervous doing my own fucking
right. I've replaced the front wheel bearings on one of our coworkers' pickups, and he's like, "Yeah, this is my daily driver. I got my daughter in there all the time." I'm like, "Man,
don't tell me that."
Yeah, like I've got faith in myself.
Yeah,
that's fine, but the whole time you're putting all this shit back together, it's like if this blows out, I might kill somebody. Like,
yeah,
I don't like doing that shit on the side for.
Yeah.
That's been 2 years ago now, and it's held fine since. But
I do everything to the book pretty much. So, because I get in that same way where I'm driving down the road and it's like, man, I did the work on this. Wheel's probably gonna fall off. And then it's like, no, it probably won't. You did everything right.
Yeah, I always second guess myself, and then I end up, obviously nothing ever happens, thankfully, but it always makes me nervous because there's those random times, like, I do this at work, which not saying it's like a major thing, but there's some times where, like, I remember, like the other day I was working on a piece of equipment and I had grabbed a scraper to scrape off some glue, and I set it aside on a little tub outside of the machine, not that it's going to cause an issue, right. But I set it down there, and like an hour later I was sitting up front and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to pick that up. But then it made me think back, and I'm like, what else did I forget? Like, if I forgot that freaking scraper sitting there, did I forget something else?
See, at least you remembered it up in the break room.
Yeah.
Mine's always when I'm right about to fall asleep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, then you're like, fuck.
Uh-oh.
No bueno.
I always hate the ones where you just finished working on a piece of equipment and half hour, 45 minutes later, all hell breaks loose, and it's like, oh god damn it, was that something that I caused?
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
And you may have just worked here, but it was before or after what you just touched. Like, oh,
yeah,
whew, that thing a piece of shit. I'm glad I didn't touch it. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
At least you can do it, though. That's what I always think. Like, I can't imagine, and I know there's probably people watching that, don't know how to work on their own stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or they're probably criticizing us, saying, oh, you don't know how to,
Yeah. You're going to have both, so I don't really care.
You don't check the coolant every time you get in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I check my tires and my blinkers every time I drive my car. Good for you.
But yeah,
I find out when I get pulled over.
I wasn't sure if my headlights were working while I was at the liquor store, and a car backed out of its spot, and I was looking at his shiny ass car. It's like 1 and 2. Okay, headlights are good.
Perfect.
That's how I do it too. I always check in the
Go ahead,
reflection.
Hit your fucking turn signals. It's like front end's fine.
Well, at the DMV, they act like you're supposed to do that every time you go and get in the car.
I think technically you're supposed to.
It's one of those. It's gray area.
I don't know. My kid was just in an accident. I better check my turn signals.
Yeah. Oh. So this goes along with vehicles. I thought about this going into work one day. Something that really pisses me off is people that abuse handicap parking passes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously this goes for work because the first 18 spots, I've counted this out once, first 18 spots, this is including the no parking zones in between them and whatnot. First 18 spots are handicap spots. If you actually need it, totally fine.
Right.
Every person that parks there does not need it. And you notice it more whenever it rains out.
Yep.
But the other thing too is like the people that just use it because of their age.
Yep.
It really, like, I'm not saying one way or another, but at the same time, like, if you have access to that because of your age, don't be a douche and park in the very first spot.
Right.
At least park the very first spot in the lot, further down. Don't park right where if somebody actually needs that spot.
Mm-hmm. I'll argue that to an extent, just because, like, we do have a temp worker out there that is well
Oh yeah.
into her
When
older
you said
years.
that, I
Yeah.
instantly.
And it's
thought
like,
somebody.
I understand it. I don't know where she parks. I don't know if she has a disability, anything like that. But that's one that I'll give a pass
Exactly.
to. But there's
I'm
also
okay with
some that.
So what you're saying then is we need to have the regular parking pass, and then I'm qualified to have this parking pass.
I'll
pass.
agree with that.
Yeah,
Because there's
basically.
people
Two
that
of
are
them.
missing a finger that have a
I deserve
disability. And
this.
it's like,
Yeah.
I better park here. It's like, come on, 2-ton Tessie. You'll be alright.
That right there, people that are just overweight, that they're short, fat, and sassy, and they go to Walmart and they see an open spot, first spot in the lot, and they fucking park there and they're like, we got a good spot, and they go in and hop on the fucking scooter and
Get on the rascal.
Oh,
Get out of the way.
yeah, exactly.
No,
That
a lot of
shit
times they don't
pisses
say
me
anything.
off.
They just expect you to get out of the way.
Yeah. They
That
mean
happens
mug
to
you
me.
as they fucking drive by.
Yeah.
Dude,
See
I
that a
can't
lot, too.
remember. I may have said this in another video, but I went to get it's actually that trash can
The trash
right
can.
over
Yeah,
there.
you talked about. But
I can't
for
remember.
people that didn't see the video.
Yeah, all right. Just in case I
did.
didn't say this in the video, it really irritated me. I have this issue whenever I buy certain things where I get it home and I find out that I didn't check this and it's messed up, or whatever the case may be. So I picked up a trash can, something simple, had a nice lid that pops on it, had wheels on it. So I picked up the trash can, put it in my cart. I walked away and I come back because I'm like, I think I need a bigger one. So I get the bigger trash can. Well, it didn't have a lid on it. So I found a lid and I put it on there. And I'm like, I'm going to make sure this clips. It didn't clip. So I popped that lid off, grabbed another one, popped it on there, snapped right into place. I'm like, okay, do the wheels work? And as I'm checking if the wheels are rolling, I look up and there's some old boy just sitting on a scooter staring at me. And I just sat there and kind of looked at him. He's like, so, oh, yeah, my bad. Let me get out of your fucking way, and threw it in the cart and fucking walked away.
I always like the ones that park at the end of the aisle on the scooter, and they're just looking down. Then they stand up and walk all the way to the opposite end, grab what they need, come back, sit back down.
No, for me, it's when there's two of them and they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude, I run into that shit all the time.
Pull
Yeah.
off to the shoulder, get out
Or
of the way.
they've got, they've got 3-ton Tessie that pushes the cart around in front of them. They're sitting there gabbing together in the middle of the aisle. It's like, move, go.
Turn your hazards on.
there needs to be aisle monitors. That,
Well, and the worst part about that, during COVID, they had arrows on the floor. And,
oh, I forgot about that.
in a way that was kind of
that was
nice.
stupid.
And some people followed it. I'm not saying it was or wasn't stupid, because I think it was a little stupid, because, typically people didn't follow it. But at the same time, if we could just get that, that would be nice.
It would be, but you would run into the same situation like the same jackasses that ignored those signs on the floor are the same ones that ignore the direction arrows pulling through the parking lot.
That's fair.
I mean, I always like meeting someone head on, like, you're supposed to turn right, I turn right, and somebody's already facing head on. It's like,
I like,
Yeah.
go!
They act like you're the issue.
I like
Yeah,
being
they
the,
just stare at you like you got a third fucking eyes. Or
I like being the guy that's going into the parking lot and somebody scans their badge and then you hurry up behind them.
I do that a lot.
Well,
I've
I
got
do it all
another
the
thing
time.
to add to this, but I had one more on that.
okay.
I was doing my driver's ed course in high school. We went to Walmart and we pull down the.
It's getting
We,
hot.
we pull down the aisle and start cruising down, and there's a car coming towards us. And next thing I know, the car comes to a stop. Well, I forget, the fucking homeboy's got a brake over there, and I'm like, sitting there brake torquing it, fucking, I'm like, I look over at him, and he's like, just wait. I'm like,
Just wait.
so I sat there for a second, and I turned the wheel, I'm like, about to start doing a burnout, and he grabbed the wheel and pulled it back, and he's like, no. I'm like, what? And he's like, we're going the right way, they're going the wrong way. We're going to wait here until they move. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Of course, they eventually end up going around us, and they're like, But I'm like, in all fairness, we are going the proper way, and they're not. But at the same time, if I'd have been in that situation, I'd have just kind of scooched over, flipped them off, went about my day, like. But the badge deal, that's something I thought about the other day. I was walking up, somebody stopped at the turnstile and starts rifling through their bag trying to find their badge to badge in. And I stood there for a second, and they're like, oh, you can go ahead and go around. I'm like, okay. So I go around, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, what were you doing from here to your car that you did not think you needed your fucking badge to get in this building? Like, you have to do this daily. What made you think when you get to the turnstile, oh, I don't even know if I have my badge?
Give me a second. I gotta do a little rifling.
Like, what the hell? Oh my God. That kind of shit pisses me off. You do not have that much going on that you forgot. That's how you get into this building. I don't want to say that I follow people in to the parking lot, but I've probably scanned my badge at least 10 times in the last 3 months.
If I can do it that way, yeah.
They don't need to know I'm here.
I mean, it's kind of a joke. It's like, you could literally pull through because, well, one of them...
The outbound arm is up, so you can go wherever you want.
Yeah, so is it really secure? And then what if what if a criminal's riding a motorcycle? They don't even have to go through a gate.
Yeah.
Well, like going back to like security and shit like that for that place. Back before they were put into the new area, and they were out back in the old parking lot, I was talking to one of the security guards. I'm like, so what happens when someone that's not supposed to be on the premises, or you get a pissed off truck driver, something like that, decide, alright, we're gonna start some shit. Like, you guys don't carry mace, you guys don't carry a stun gun, nothing. And he's like, well, we have this, and he pulls out one of those.
Hey, you do.
Hey! He pulls out one of those, like, 1-inch fucking yellow wiffle ball bats. He's like, this is what we have. I'm like, this is what's keeping us secure in this factory.
Whew.
Like,
So honestly,
oh, thank God.
my thing
God
is,
damn, I thought we were underway.
if you're being paid $15 an hour, I don't know what they're being paid.
I don't expect them to do much, but it's like,
But
good Lord.
imagine somebody walks in with an AR, and you just watch them walk right through the gate. I mean, the one thing you can do is alert over the radio.
Right.
But are you going to go in there and stop them?
Hell no.
No, I'm not either.
No.
Yeah,
Like, so...
I don't blame them. It just cracks me up. They're there to keep us safe, and they keep us safe with a wiffle ball bat.
Come here.
Yeah.
I've already got one in my car. It's like...
I keep a more deadly weapon on my tool pouch, 11-in-1 screwdriver than what that damn wiffle ball bat is.
Come here, you.
Yeah. That's always cracked me up.
So somebody brought this to my attention the other day. I've thought about it many a times, but isn't it weird if you're walking around a store? Typically this happens in Walmart, but like you see somebody you bump into them early, like you just get there, you're like, oh hey, how's it going? And they're like, bullshit for a second or two, and then like you see them the entire time you're in Walmart.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
aisle you go down, And it's just so awkward because then
What do
it's
you do?
like, what do I say now? You're just
See,
like,
Hey.
So I fight that.
we gotta stop doing this.
I fight that by just ignoring them, and if I see them before they see me, I go the other way. Or I turn down an aisle.
You just
That's a
gotta make it
little
more.
pungent over there.
Sorry, bub.
I don't
Must
smell
have.
it.
You gotta make it more awkward. Like, you see him in the canned food section, and it's like, oh, hey. Then you run into him in the TP. I was like, there you go.
Gotcha. See you around.
Oh, you're out of shitter paper, eh?
Yeah, I ought to
One,
just start
two,
doing
three,
that. Just start looking in their cart and seeing what they're buying. Astroglide.
Just walk by and fucking steal shit out of their cart.
Yeah.
They can keep following me. I'm gonna need that. You can go back.
Put shit they didn't know they bought in there.
Did you ever do that as a kid?
What's that?
Like, well, you mentioned Astroglide. So you could just be like walking around with a bottle. And you just
we put
toss it
condoms.
into
Put condoms.
toss it into somebody else's cart as you're walking by.
Yeah.
And then you stand like 3 lanes down as they're checking out, and it's some elderly person. They pull out a bottle of, what's this?
See, it's hard to
That could go on
to
in
do
2
it now
ways.
because there's self checkout.
Well, that's
So, but yeah, back when there was no self checkout, yeah, it was hilarious as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's you just. Well, I don't know. It's still probably awkward because they got to pull it out and scan it, and then probably if they do scan it, they got to get it removed off the list, and then they just got to sit it there. But
Then you go up for a pack of Dentine Ice, and there's a bottle of Astroglide in the way. It's like, ah, damn it, I just want
sometimes
breath.
though, it's like, shit. I'm glad somebody put that out there. I forgot that.
Hell, I could use that.
I love buying $20 lube.
Lube. There was something I was gonna say to that. I don't know what the hell it was now.
Are you a little chilled?
I'm cold.
You look like you're slightly having a seizure.
No, I'm just.
It ain't bad.
Boxes, bro.
Time out.
I'll grab one of them coffees, maybe.
Yeah, they're cold